Hello, this is Joel and welcome to the tutorial for how to use the candidate staff fund balance and budget projection spreadsheet. Basically, the things to keep in mind, there are two main areas, that on the left and that on the right. That on the left is largely the budget, the ministry budget and personal budget of the candidate staff, and the right is a projection of their account balance over the first year of their fundraising. Let's focus primarily on the left here, which is the budget. The top here in the yellow is all ministry expenses. The blue is personal. Let's start with the personal. Basically, here is where you want to get a picture of all the expenses that they're going to need to have covered by their personal income and salary. Things like rent or loans or perhaps miscellaneous or books. And you can edit those numbers here. One thing to keep in mind is please only edit numbers where there is not a star next to it. Any space with a star next to it means it's automatically calculated and you do not need to manually enter anything in there. A few things to keep in mind: you can just change the figures here to whatever they may be, and you'll see that things get automatically updated in terms of taxes and the amount of gross pay needed to cover that. One other thing to keep in mind for the personal expenses is that nothing related to cars should be included in here. So no gas money, no car insurance, no car repairs. All of that should be covered by the mileage expense. Also, one other thing is to keep this as low as possible. In other words, we're trying to keep it as minimum as it can be until their account is high enough to accommodate it and without going negative. So that's just the goal. A few other things to keep in mind, like I said, make sure any ministry expenses are updated here. You can input the current DM rate for whether married or single staff for medical insurance. The average amount of distance that a CS travels we found is around 400 miles. If you, for some reason, you know it will be significantly more or less, you can edit that number there. And then finally, ministry phone can be entered here. So that means phone and fuel and gas should not be in personal. Once that's all done, this is the important number right here. To calculate is the amount to raise. That's how much needs to be in the candidate staff's account to cover their paycheck they'll need for that month. We then use that number when we come over to the budget projection. Here what we're trying to do is get a picture of what their fund balance will look like over time. You can enter the date here that they will receive their first paycheck. Let's say in this case August 1st. We just hit it here, and you'll see that these numbers right here begin to update for the next year. Then what we want to do is we want to project how much, if any, is in their account balance currently. For most, it's 0. And if we anticipate that in the month of July leading up to August they'll have raised $300, that means they're going to project that much income for that month. So we enter 300, and then generally if we're anticipating they raise 300 per month, you can imagine that these numbers just keep increasing by 300 until we roughly get to their support goal. The point here is you're just putting in how much you project that they will have coming in money-wise during that month. Then you will also project how much their expenses will be. For most, this will be straight through just a copy of what number is here. However, I've illustrated another point. Let's say perhaps in January we sense that they're going to go up, or their need is going to go up to cover perhaps a new loan that's coming due. We might change their expenses here. And you can really alter this and add as much flexibility as you need as you anticipate various expenses. Then this fund balance is calculated, and what we're looking for is the point at which they will go the most negative and at what point in time that they will come back to be positive. Here we'll see that the most they'll go negative is approximately $3,200, and that they will become back positive in May of 2013. Then this whole spreadsheet for launchers and mentors is then submitted to the candidate staff team leader, namely me, and if there is a significant amount of going negative, we will then submit this to the seniors to get their approval for the account balance to go negative. If you have any questions, please come ask me or Michael. Thank you.